Oh, hi, everybody. My name is Lillian Sing. Good morning. I'm so happy to be here this morning to talk with you. First of all, I want to wish everybody a happy Chinese New Year. It's so festive all around the world, and the grandmas in Korea and in China are all celebrating Chinese New Year and hoping that this year of the dog will bring about a better year for them and will bring some consciousness to the government of Japan. Let me introduce myself a little to you. I've been a judge for over 30-some years, and I was the first Asian American female judge in Northern California. I loved being a judge, but I retired so that I can join Judge Julie Tang to talk about the Comfort Women and to build a Comfort Women Memorial in San Francisco. So many people ask me why. Well, I thought about it a great deal, and I finally can tell you very simply two reasons. Comfort women. I did it for the comfort women, so history would never be repeated again. That is one of the most heinous crimes in modern day society, and Japan has not apologized. Judge Julie Tang and I dispense justice every day in court. And we have to dispense justice for the over 400,000 comfort women in Asia that still have not seen a day of justice. The other day, somebody said, but Japan has apologized. What else do you want? I want to tell everybody, if Japan has apologized, we will be so happy. Japan has never apologized. Yes, there was a Kono statement, but the Diet has never adopted the Kono statement. And Abe government is going backwards, challenging the Kono statement, which is still the formal statement in Japan, recognizing that the comfort women stations existed. So why did I retire? To further justice for the comfort women so that they get justice before they all die. Judge Tang, would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Judge Julie Tang. I'm also retired, and I also wanted to join Judge Sing to wish the Chinese and Korean communities a very happy New Year. And I know Japanese New Year is on January the 1st, so a belated Happy New Year to our Japanese friends. I'm also the co-chair of the Comfort Women Justice Coalition, and I'm just as happy as Lillian to be able to talk to you. The last time I checked, we have quite a few friends out there visiting our Facebook regularly, and we're trying to increase that number so that we can get to the message out for the grandmas who are still waiting for an honest apology from Japan and a responsible and adequate means to address the sexual slavery system inflicted upon women and girls by the Japanese military during World War II. Now, I also joined Judge Sing and a coalition of multi-ethnic and multi-interest individuals and groups to install a Comfort Woman Memorial in San Francisco on September 22nd, 2017. Now that the memorial has been permanently installed, Comfort Women Justice Coalition is moving forward.
Yes, that was the memorial. That was the day of the installation. And right after that, the Abe government went really, literally crazy. The Osaka mayor wanted to break 60 years of ties to San Francisco. We are sister city to Osaka. And over this memorial, Osaka mayor wants to break ties with San Francisco. It hasn't happened yet because unfortunately, our mayor, San Francisco Mayor Edwin Lee, died of a heart attack in December. So that issue is now put on a hold until we elect a new mayor in June. I can tell you, they can never remove our memorial. Judge Tang, would you tell us why Japan is so afraid of our memorial?
Japan has always taken a very strong denialist attitude. They don't want the world to know what happened during World War II. And it's really unfortunate because, as you said, if people don't know about it, they forget about it, and history will repeat itself. So what we're doing is try to prevent these kind of atrocities, this kind of heinous crimes being repeated. And that's why it is so disheartening. Just 2 nights ago, Akie Abe, the wife of Japan's Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, received a Lotus Circle Leadership Award from the Asia Society in San Francisco, actually Asia Foundation. And I'm saying it's disheartening is because Akie Abe was introduced and touted as an advocate for education and women's empowerment, among a few other trumped up virtues and accomplishments. But in fact, it is the opposite is true. Lillian, you know, we talked about that. And I do want to share with the viewers now what I've learned about Akie's so-called education contribution, and maybe you can comment later on the women's empowerment issue that she was given an award for which she clearly does not deserve. Now, Akie Abe was enshrouded in a scandal of bigotry and fraud connected to a private kindergarten school that taught ultra-conservative political ideology that spread hatred against Chinese and Koreans living in Japan. And this happened just last year. In fact, February 24th, 2017 was the day that this news broke. And this kindergarten is called the Tsukamoto Kindergarten. And Akie, Prime Minister Abe's wife, is a strong supporter of this school. The students march in crisp rows to military music, reciting instructions for patriotic behavior laid down by a 19th century emperor. And the intent is to nurture patriotism and pride in the children that Japan, the purest nation in the world, and must be kept that way. The school rejects the post-war education of Japan, whose basic principles are pacifism and democracy. And I think that's what the majority of the Japanese people want. Do you agree, Lillian?
Well, it's so sad that Mrs. Abe, Akie Abe, is taking that position, and she was awarded the Lotus Award for champion women's issues and educational issues. If she were really championing women's issues, she would be supporting the comfort women. I also want to bring out the fact that Mrs. Abe campaigned last year for women by the name of Mio Sugita. What's her name, Julie?
Mio Sugita.
Mio Sugita. I'm sorry, Mio Sugita, who made outrageous statements. This is a woman who said that she wants to bomb comfort women memorials in the United States. I also need to quote you something. She was in a conversation with a Kawasoe who said, Russia and President Putin will, without a flinch, order the removal of the memorial. Then one day, without a warning, someone would bulldoze it away. And you know what this woman said, who was elected? Maybe I should do that. And she laughs. In America,
you know, the main thing, though, is that Akie Abe supported that kind of statement.
Well, I will. I intend to go into that.
With her on those kind of platforms.
Yeah, I intend to go into that, but I want to read about her statement first. This woman said, in America, too, once people realized that comfort women memorials would be bombed, no matter how many they build, they would not think about building another one. We should bomb every single memorial as it is built. This is a statement by Mio Sugita, who was elected into Japan's House of Representatives last year on October 22nd, 2017. And guess who campaigned for her? Her strongest campaigner was Mrs. Abe, who campaigned for her and supported these statements. Now, atomic bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki was terrible, and so many victims suffered. And there's a museum about the evils of atomic bombing. And yet, this House of Representatives, supported by Mrs. Abe, wants to bomb every memorial built in the United States. That is outrageous, heartless, and really, I think anybody associated with this woman should be prevented from entering the United States. That is a hate speech and should be on the no-flight list. And I'm surprised that there was no, FBI has not checked into it. I hope Mrs. Mio Sugita does not visit the United States, because if she does, we will be demonstrated against it. We will be warning the FBI director about these hate speeches and how dangerous those speeches are. She is advocating violence. She is advocating bombing of our peaceful memorial in a park that's visited by the public. How could she do that? I mean, violence of that nature advocated by a representative of Japan's House of Representatives, and yet Mrs. Abe supported her, campaigned for her, and she got elected. Julie, you want to talk about this hate speech issue?
Yeah, before I do that, I just also wanted to comment that she's not the only one who says she wanted to remove all the memorials. The new ambassador, who is going to be picking up office in America from Japan in March, also said similar things, but not to that extent. He said he wanted to one of the first priority that he has as the ambassador from Japan, that his official business is to travel around United States and visit all the memorials and make sure that they're all taken down. Now, just wait. I'm anxious to see how he's going to take down the San Francisco Memorial. Lillian, you and I are going to form a people wall, to protect the memorial, and we're going to file charges against him for a terrorist act, and whatever he's trying to do is complicit, is totally complicit with the Abe government in trying to deny history, trying to take down this darkest part of Japan's conduct and behavior in history, and to deny the grandmas their day in court, and to deny the grandmas their justice and fairness.
Really, I want to say that the ambassador will be coming to the United States in March, and he issued a press statement saying that he's going to travel around the United States and explain the Japanese government's position in person. You know what? We would love to meet him. We would love to hear about his position about the comfort women, because we have our position. We want to engage in a dialogue. We want to bring our comfort women in Korea, in China, to talk to him face to face at our San Francisco Memorial, so the international community can see it for themselves. This Japan's U.S. envoy to the United States thinks that Japan has not been given a fair opportunity to state its position. Well, Japan has. Each time we have a public forum, we invite Japan's representative to come and speak with us. Each time they have not been willing to. For example, end of this month, at Hastings School of Law, is a UC system, UC Hastings School of Law, we have a panel discussion on this critical issue. And we have speakers who will talk about legal issues. We have historians who will talk about historical issues. And Judge Tang and I will be talking about our Comfort Women Memorial. The Dean of Hastings had issued an invitation to Japan's Consul General in San Francisco to attend. But you know what? They're not. Why are they so afraid of talking to us and yet issuing these statements saying they would like a dialogue? We always welcome a dialogue. We cannot afford to have this matter be silenced by the world. We need to talk about it. And when the more Japan denies, the more the world will hear about it. And another issue that I want to say is that when Osaka mayor came to visit San Francisco a year ago, we tried to go and talk to him. He would not even allow us to go into the hotel to see him. That's a kind of fear they have in talking about this. And yet the envoy to the United States says he would like the opportunity to talk about it. Well, we would like the opportunity as well.
The last time the Japanese Consul General or ambassador had an open debate with Iris back in the 1990s, and he was slammed. He was just totally slammed by smart, bright, brilliant Iris, who countered all his lies with truth, with facts, with recipient witnesses' testimonies about what happened during the rape of Nanjing. I think they are really afraid, Lillian. You and I are in court, and we hear witnesses talk, and we know how to discern those people who have the credibility and those who don't. Japan has no credibility when it comes to the history issue. The best thing they could do right now is to own up to the history and confront it and admit to it like Germany did. And that would bring peace, to the nations, and we can start talking about how to move forward from that point on. But as one of our friends said, no apology, no peace. And as long as they continue to take this denialist stand, there can be no peace among the nations in Asia. I am interested, as you are, to have an open debate with this ambassador who is coming in March. And let's issue an invitation to him right now in this Face Live program.
You know what? We should
debate us in open dialogue, in open forum. We invite the community to come in. We'll present our evidence, our documents, our recipient witnesses, our grandmas, and we want to see how you deny that. And I don't think they can. That's why they've been hiding. They've been hiding, and they can only put in little statements here and there. And by the way, what they're doing in Japan is horrible, because in Japan, they have an unfathomed right to do what they want to do. The kind of hate speech that is going on against the Chinese and the Koreans is just horrific. Just last night at 4 a.m. in Tokyo, some right-wingers shot bullets into a Korean organization where Koreans are staying. And the matter was reported, and these two right-wing persons were arrested for assault. But I'm eager to see how they are going to be persecuted. Right now, the Korean community in Japan is getting very, very active, and they are banding together and fighting for laws that would protect them against hate speech. It took like 4 years for the case of a lawyer to bring it to court to deem an act by one of these right-wing groups as hate crime. So I'm kind of eager to see how long this case is going to take before the Japanese court also deem these people to be committing hate crimes and hate speeches.
Well, I join in Judge Tang's concern about all these right-wing movements around the world. We have our right-wing movement in the United States. They're very dangerous. I want to go back to what Judge Tang and I mentioned earlier. On this Facebook Live, I'd like to issue a formal invitation to Japan's envoy to the United States to join us on a Facebook Live so we can talk about this, so the world can listen to it. Please join us, Mr. I forgot his name. Julie, can you help me out?
I think his name is also Shigeta.
Same name?
Yeah, not exactly the same, but it's similar.
Okay. So I would like to issue a formal invitation to the Japan's new U.S. envoy. His name is Shinsuke Sugiyama, to accept our invitation to come on Facebook Live to talk about this issue. Then the international communities can all tune in and listen to us and judge for themselves what is the true history and what's going on. And I urge Japan to apologize. One apology. They keep talking about apologies have been made, but they have not. The Diet has never adopted a formal apology. I don't care what they say about this agreement in South Korea and Japan made between two foreign ministers of the country. It has never been adopted by the Diet, and the money was never accepted, and the comfort women were never at the table. And one of the issues about the so-called agreement, there was a gag order. It requires that South Korea never talk about it again. Why? Whitewash the history in South Korea like Japan whitewashed history in Japan? Japan wants the whole world to forget so that all the comfort women would die. They're all dying already. In the beginning, we had over 200,000 comfort women in China. I don't know whether the viewers know this, Julie, but we have more comfort women in China than in South Korea. Now they're less than 22. In South Korea, there were about 160,000. Another couple women died last month. Now there are less than 35. So we are racing with time, and time is not on our side. But my heart goes out to the couple women. And like I said when I started the program, the reason why I gave up my judgeship, the reason why I'm doing this is because of the couple women. Everything we do is because of the couple women. Any agreement that is going to be made between governments must take that into consideration. It's not a political issue. It's not geopolitics. It is about the comfort women, and my heart goes out to them.
Lillian, I think we've made a lot of good points today. Let's remind the people who are watching this program or will be watching this to attend a very, very important panel discussion that we're going to have at Hastings College of the Law. Now, Hastings is where Lillian and I both received our law degree. So we're very proud to be going back to this institution to talk about an issue that we feel very, very compassionate about. And Comfort Women, a continuing search for justice, will be on February 28th at 3:30 p.m. And there will be a reception to follow. And we hope that the students at Hastings will participate. It is open to the public. It's free. Lawyers can get MCLE credits and come and meet Lillian and me in person and other experts in this area. So before we go off the camera, Lillian, do you have anything more to say to our viewers at this time?
Yes, join us in this movement, because our Comfort Women's Justice Coalition is not just about the past, it is about the present as well. You know, women have always been exploited during times of war, and women have always been used by the military, and we have got to stop. The Me Too movement in the United States speak about sexual violence that have occurred throughout history inflicted upon women. Well, our Comfort Women, they're really the mother of Me Too. The world does not know about it, but the world is getting to know more about the Comfort Women. Please join us in fighting for justice for them and for all other women that have been victims of sexual violence. And hopefully governments would acknowledge that women can no longer be used during times of conflict. And it is a crime against humanity to, let me start again. Comfort Women was declared by the United Nations that if you use women during times of conflict in the military, it is a crime against humanity. Let's all stop and think about that. Crime against humanity. We're all human.
Thank you, Lillian. Thank you all very much. Really appreciate it. We'll have many opportunities to do these pop-up face lives, and you'll meet other members of the coalition. And so until we speak again, thank you so much for checking into our Facebook. Ask your friends to join us, and we love to communicate with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.